read chapters. I guess I'm in here.
My granddad said there's nothing scarier than a pissed off woman with a poison for.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to stir the pot with the Express Independent Thought with TJ, Cheryl, and Squirrel as they lead us into conversation on the Brew.
Well, hello. Can y'all hear me?
I can. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. How are y'all doing tonight?
Good.
Or this afternoon?
This afternoon.
Yes, it's afternoon.
Are you having problems? She was having a hell of a time last week with her computer.
Oh, well, it's me this week. I'm in Dallas, and I'm sitting on 5G, which my phone don't like. So y'all may be struggling with me too.
Mine don't like it either, and I don't know why.
Mine don't, and it's a $2,500 phone, and it's supposed to be a 5G phone, but it sure don't like it.
Yeah, it's kind of how mine is too. I just piss it. Kansas, Texas, Oklahoma. My service just goes to shit out the window.
Yep. So I guess Tracy's having issues. So I guess we'll welcome everybody to the brew. This is Squirrel, right?
Yep.
Okay. We're gonna have a special guest tonight. We're gonna have a new board member from Real Women in Trucking that's going to join us, Tammy Sue. She's getting all set up, so she should be here in a little bit. And she's going to be talking about the 90-day campaign that's going on with Real Women in Trucking about women having a voice today in the industry.
Well, I did watch a TikTok the other day from Mad Max, and I do believe he was talking about that article. Am I correct?
Okay.
I think he was talking about some of the comments underneath it, some of the women's complaints in trucking.
Right.
So I do believe that's kind of what you were talking about, because I brought it up to Trace earlier on the phone and said I was reading some of the comments, and I don't know, I agreed with some of them and I didn't with some of them.
Right. Well, how long you been driving, Squirrel? About probably as long as I have, right?
Well, I've been out on the road 29 years.
Yeah. See, you and I come from a different era.
Exactly.
So their complaints today is going to be a whole lot different than ours, because we were brought up to suck it up and walk like a man and do your damn job, so you earn your respect.
I understand that, because I started out, me and my husband hauled livestock for almost 22 years. So I believe it was harder too for me in that industry to get the respect of a man than in, hauling a reefer or hopper or something else, because they're a little tougher out there in the bull rap community.
Oh yeah. Well, hell, even in the reefer business, because we're pretty close to you, because y'all bringing the shit in.
Yep.
They're killing it on one end, and we're on the other end waiting on it to come on the truck. So
I mean,
I'm right there with you.
I understand. I did, when I was watching his video, and then a friend of mine stitched his video. I understand some of the complaints, but there were some that I couldn't get on board with.
You got Facebook open somewhere?
Right.
I mean, there were some of them, one of them that I absolutely, could get on board with was, as women, I am notorious. I don't know about a lot of other women, but I can say this with my whole chest. I get UTIs out on the road. It is what it is. And if I'm not prepared to have that UTI, or I don't think I'm going to have one, or I run out of stuff in my truck, there's nothing in the truck stops for those. And that irritates me a little bit right there.
Well, and at my age, I mean, I'm blessed. I should be having UTIs because I don't drink water. I drink tea and coffee and soda. So I'm not a water drinker. So I'm kind of blessed that I don't have one. And if I do, I don't know about it. And it ain't bothering me. But I do wear Depends. And sometimes, I would like more. That is one complaint that I do. I think that we need a better variety of women's products in truck stops. And I'm not just talking about the damn little T-shirts that they want to sell us. I'm talking about real shampoo, undergarments, things that we as women need. They don't have enough of that stuff.
I do wholeheartedly agree on that, because there have been many times where my husband has just parked on the side of the road and ran into Walmart for me, are parked in a no parking zone and ran into Walgreens for me because I need that, and they do not sell any of that stuff at the truck stop. So I agree on that. The truck stops need to realize that we are part of this community. We're not going away. And
No, we're
there's
just
more,
growing bigger, actually.
yes, there's more and more of us. And, it's time for them to realize that.
Right.
But you're right. We do come from a community where we either did the job or we didn't do the job. We
Right.
sucked it up and we moved on.
Right.
But I have some complaints with like the new women drivers also. And I guess my biggest complaint would be the advertising for the OF pages and advertising where they are at what truck stop.
Hey, guys.
That to me I can't do.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Right.
Finally, you finally got
Hey,
it fixed. I hope.
right there, squirrel. Well, we're waiting on Tammy. Let me step out. Y'all talk a minute. Let me go see if I can find my guest.
I think she's here.
Oh, she here? Oh, okay. Okay.
I've been here backstage listening. Nobody brought me on.
Oh, my apologies. My apologies. John, damn producer, you can't get him to do nothing.
We should fire John. Telling you.
I just want to say I did not know about Mad Max's video until you were just discussing it, and that was not an article. That was actually a post.
Was it a post
on my personal Facebook page, and it was in reference to a lot of things that I get feedback from female drivers. So that was I just went and watched part of the video, and I don't expect a man to understand.
Yes.
Right.
Point blank. There's not a man out there that's going to understand what women go through in this industry. And it has nothing to do with whining new drivers. It's the fact that no matter if you started in 1950, 1970, 1980, or 2025, when there's an issue that affects a woman, we are told it's trucking. Plain and simple.
And that's the way me and Squirrel was brought up. Mm-hmm. It's trucking. Either suck it up, Buttercup, or go back and bake some cookies. Now, deal with it. You choose to be here.
I think my husband understands a little bit more just because we've always been in the truck together.
Yeah.
Right.
So, he's had to go through, like I was saying, pulling over to the side of the road in a no parking zone to run into Walgreens to get me something because we can't get it at the truck stop.
Which it should be there. It should be there. I
wholeheartedly believe that. Yes.
This was one of the comments that I made. And I don't know if Mad Max addressed this or not because I didn't watch all of his video. But if you walk into a truck stop, right, it's all men beard, men body wash, men beard oil, men shower shoes. Everything is male. If we want something, we have to go to the convenience side, and there's a very limited traveler selection. Okay, we don't make up 1 or 2% of the population anymore.
No.
So a simple thing like that, we should be able to have that.
And I wholeheartedly agree to that. And like me and Cheryl were talking earlier, we were in more of an older generation where it was suck it up. If you want to compete in this men's world, this is what you're going to have to do. And we kind of fell in line because that's just how it was 29 years ago. It was a male dominant world and there weren't very many women in trucking, and you sure in the hell didn't see many women hauling livestock back then.
No.
We got them now though.
Yeah, now there is, but I'd pull up to a chute and they'd see me getting out of the truck. They'd be like, oh, here we go. And it's like, listen, boys, I'm going to show you how it's done. Let's go.
Right. And it really and truly, you didn't find very many females doing refrigeration either, because back in the day, we would have to lump our own stuff and unload and each load, and that it was very strenuous on your body. But I've been doing reefer for a very long time.
How many here work for a larger carrier? Anybody? Or are you all owner operators or small?
No, we started with a company.
Okay. Do you remember when you worked for a larger company in their
Hi, Jamie.
handbooks? They have a section on it's against their company rules to carry any kind of bathroom
No, I don't remember
things
that
with
at
you.
all. I can remember the company I worked for because I can't tell you the company because I actually took them to court on this. Because I was teaming with John. We weren't married at the time. I wasn't allowed to have my own bed.
Yep. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah, and that's
My own space, my own anything. But today, we don't get to have our spaces anymore anyways.
I guess the
All
one
right,
thing
and now, I'm sorry, I might break you. Did you just say that you asked the question that the company drivers are not allowed to have bathroom facilities on their truck?
yeah. So here's one of the points that was brought up.
No,
So
that's bullshit.
exactly. So there was a lady who tagged me and Desiree the other night on Twitter. She was at a shipper 9 hours when she reached out to me. No
Right,
bathroom facilities. Okay. No
right.
porta potties.
Yes. No.
Now here's the problem. Most of us know to keep an emergency thing, right? That's a thing. But in certain
Yes.
situations, you need more than an emergency. And
Yes.
there are most of the larger carriers in their handbook, and I want to get a hold of some of those handbooks.
Oh, I would too.
They literally prohibit any kind of and I get it, they did it for piss bottles and so forth, which it doesn't stop it, but they prohibit having anything makeshift like that on the trucks. And I think that was one of my points too. It's complete
Well, then
BS.
they need to get on these shippers and receivers to have bath.
Well,
But be honest with you, I've got a 5-gallon bucket.
Yep.
I
I have
know.
That
I
is my
have
garbage can, my
collapsible.
bathroom, and I've got
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure that Tammy knows this.
yeah,
That
I saw that.
they have
But
that bipartisan
regardless,
bill right now. That bipartisan bill. I mean, do you know when that's gonna? When that's gonna go up to be presented and get signed into law? Have you heard about that?
Which
yeah,
bipartisan
where
bill
they're
is
going
it?
to go after the
It's
shippers and
bipartisan.
receivers for
Oh,
not having
Yeah,
bathrooms.
bathrooms. Yeah.
yeah. They, I honestly, I don't think that is going to
Well,
be able to get passed on a federal level. I just don't see it.
I don't either
Uh,
because the companies are private. You can't make them do
but
anything.
I have to tell you the problem about even with the bathroom, even with the men. When I wasn't driving and I was dispatching, I sent quite a few men. We did dispatching for Kmart's here in New England, and we go from the DC here in Billerica, Mass, out to all kinds, all over New York, Maine, wherever. And a lot of the stores would not, as all of us know, would not allow a driver to use a bathroom.
it's
Right.
still that way.
Still
I
that way.
used to say, I would tell my drivers, shut the doors and come back.
yep.
Well, right now we haul a lot of hopper. Is basically what we do now. But a lot of these mills and stuff that we go to now, they might have a porta potty outside. If you're lucky, you might want to fumigate it before you go in. But
Yeah.
they don't have public bathroom. Now sometimes
And no running water in those, and no
Yes.
hand sanitizer. And those are
Sanitizer.
just
Yep.
damn nasty.
Yeah, I take
Right.
all my own stuff when I go in there.
Yeah.
The only thing I wanted to say about like with Mad Max's videos, he did highlight a few things. One of them was something about seatbelts not fitting right. Now, for me, I'm 5'5". It is what it is. My seatbelt's not going to fit right.
That's
Seatbelts
not
never
true.
fit right.
That's
Yeah.
not true. So
Mine doesn't.
Freightliner adjusts. Freightliner
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
know.
fixing to say that's bullshit because
I know.
we got adjustable seat belts and mine
Not
just
all
lays
of them.
loose.
Yeah, not all of them.
Ours is not adjustable in our truck, and possibly it's because we have an older truck, and that's why it's not an adjustable seatbelt in our older truck.
That goes for cars too. I can't get a car or a seatbelt. I'm not even 5 feet tall.
Right, but
Oh,
it's a
But
safe.
you're just gonna have to make them fit and get your little straps, get whatever you have to get. I mean,
yeah.
that's a
Yeah, I
point
hate
where
driving my car and wearing a seatbelt. That's some bitch. I love my truck seatbelt, but
The
that car, it chokes me.
yeah, I know, really.
the one thing he brought up on there, and I don't know, I caught it just a glimpse of it when I was listening to it last night. He said that there were a few women that were complaining because the inside bunks weren't made for females.
I
And I
didn't see
guess I
that.
What?
didn't quite
No.
understand that part of it. It's like
No.
that part I didn't quite understand.
There was none of that. So I don't
I
know.
don't know where he got that from.
So I don't know if you read what I actually posted, but I said that there's a lot of issues that are small that are easily fixed
Yes.
Exactly.
that aren't. And so a seatbelt to me is a very small issue, but it has such an easy fix.
Right.
Easy.
And I,
Like a
and honestly,
$5 easy fix, but it's not. And it's not just women that are affected by this. Tall men, short men, but they
fat men.
use, yeah, they have a standard that they used years ago. One size, and one size does not fit all. And these are
Mm.
things that the industry has just ignored. And every argument is always, but
Well,
it's so
wouldn't it
easily
be a
fixed.
cost factor too when they're
Yeah, it's
building
like
the truck?
$5,
Yeah,
maybe
I
to
mean,
put
I
a
get that.
different
I,
adjustment on it.
I listened to the Mad Max thing, and then like women are complaining about tampons or pads in the potties. Who the hell would even use one of those? I mean,
Right?
it's in a pot. It's like gross. We all know how to take care of ourselves. Stop
Yep.
making us look like we're idiots.
I mean, half of them don't even have toilet paper in the porta potties.
I
So,
know.
you expect them to have something else. It's like, I bring my own stuff. I'll bring my wet wipes. I'll bring whatever I need into that porta potty because I know it's going to be nasty.
Yep.
And I'm sorry. My 5-gallon bucket is clean. I don't hardly ever, if I could figure out how to wash my hair on my truck, I would never step into a truck stop except for the fuel.
Oh yeah, the
But I
Well,
can't
showers
there
are
quite
nasty.
figure out how to wash my hair yet.
Cheryl, why don't you
'Cause
invent something? Invent something to have there to have a shower, a little shower.
yeah, well,
There's
that
got to be
takes two.
something.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got these little portable showers, but I can't see myself doing all that because I ain't
But
standing outside the truck in a tent taking a bath. No, that ain't fixing to happen.
especially
there
at a truck
are
stop. Can you imagine?
there
Right.
are
Right
I
between
ain't doing that.
the trailers,
Honey,
set
I'd
up
be
a little
watching
tent.
your videos on every social media outlet out there.
there are things though that a lot of the female drivers that I don't agree with. The one thing that and I don't care who doesn't like me if I say this, but if you're a new driver, a female driver out there, and you have an OF page and you're advertising it all over Facebook and you're advertising it all over your social media and you're telling guys what truck stop you're at, you're putting a target on the other women out there because some of these
Exactly.
What
men
is
are thinking, oh, that's
what
how
is
all
an
women are
OF
out here.
page?
OnlyFans, honey bunny.
OnlyFans page.
It's like
Oh
it's
goddamn!
like
See,
yeah.
I'm an old bitch. I didn't know what the OF was. I'm sorry. My best friend over here looked at me like, "You don't know what that means?" No, I don't know what that means.
See, I
Uh,
agree with you. I agree that it makes us
Yes.
all look bad, and it makes us all
well,
look
and
like we're getting by being on our backs, and we
and
work
we're
hard.
losing. We work so hard to
Yes.
gain the respect of our men out here, and we work just as hard. And I'm sorry, I do complain about that. These new drivers, these girls are
Yeah.
such pansy asses, and they dressing naked. They
Yeah.
got
And high
9-inch nails.
heels.
How the hell do you work
Stiletto
in 9-inch
heels.
nails?
Oh, not only
Yeah,
that, not just the fingernails. Look at the shoes.
yeah.
The
How can you wear
shoes,
high heels? I mean, come on.
and then they wanna, and here we are trying to protect you.
Yeah.
Real women in trucking is trying to protect you from sexual harassment, but you jump out of a truck with a tank top on and your titties flopping, and you got booty shorts on. Come on now.
9-inch stiletto heels on a flatbed. That
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
my
Stilettos.
latest
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah. Yeah.
You
love it.
I
calling
mean,
yourself divas and and all that, and you're doing all these TikTok videos, making yourself look sexy. We have lost respect again. I'm struggling out here because of the new female drivers are making it hard on me again. And I worked my ass off to earn the respect of these men. And now I got you little pansy asses coming out here, don't want to run, don't want to work. Y'all want gravy train. Y'all got the gravy train
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
I'm still working. I'm dropping dead when I get out of my seat. And the last thing I'm worried about is worried about my nails or my pretty little face. Now, when I
Yeah.
go to a truck shop, I
So,
know I am working my ass off now. I'm making big, big money. I'm probably making twice what y'all making, but I work for it.
you're working
And I've
for it.
worked my
Yeah.
ass off to get here, and I don't need y'all coming up in here acting like little divas and
Yeah.
discrediting us again when we worked so hard to earn our respect. I have a problem
Facts.
with that.
There's times when we've done, a 24-hour shift and I wake up and get out of the truck to go in and get coffee and I look like a homeless person. And
Yeah.
people look at me and it's like, I just drove 18 hours. I'm tired. It's like, I don't have time to be in the truck stop at 5 o'clock at night and get up at 8 in the morning and take a
Yep.
shower.
Oh, I know, and put
You
on my
know,
makeup and do a makeup tutorial on TikTok. I don't have time for all that. Every now, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
let's show
you
you how
You
to
told
put
know.
me.
on makeup in a truck.
Yeah, well, you told me 4, and it was only 3. So
Yeah.
I was not. I was fresh out of the shower, and thank goodness I got my bangs blow dried at least, or I'd been
Hey,
out
my
here looking
hair is
like a
still
wet
wet.
rat.
I'm
yeah.
still all
Yeah,
wet here.
my best friend right here, I got out of the truck and I said, pour this gallon of water on my hair for me so I
Yeah.
could, cause
Yeah,
There we
you
I
pour
are.
would.
We're
water
all
on my hair
redheads.
so I can put my hair down.
5 minutes prior, I would have been in a
Yeah.
towel.
And
What
I
what
probably
is
got
what are
15
women
gallons of water on my truck.
Right.
what
So I,
what's
I I don't want to misconstrue. And Cheryl asked me to go talk about the I Have a Voice challenge. Okay, and
Yes,
I
yes.
don't want it to be misconstrued with a post that was actually separate from the campaign. So the I Have a Voice challenge is so many women. Do not feel comfortable, or because of the stigma with trucking, they do not feel comfortable moving forward or coming forward when there's an issue. And I'm not talking seatbelts. I'm talking serious issues,
yes.
whether it's sexual assault, whether it's sexual harassment, whether it's coercion, whether it's
Yeah.
wage theft. There are so labor
Our
trafficking.
bosses bullying you.
Yes. So I Have a Voice is just us women showing, kind of rallying together to show that there's a large member
Yeah.
population of women out here and rallying together. I Have a Voice is showing our accomplishments, what we're doing. We have women that do heavy haul. We have women that do livestock. We have women that do just massive things, wondrous things out here. And it's showcasing that. It's showing all the tremendous steps that we've taken throughout the years to get to where we are. So it's not a my seatbelt doesn't fit thing. I Have a Voice is, we're here together. You have a whole community behind you. There's a million things that you can accomplish. You know how many women are in situations, whether it's domestic violence, and trucking gives them an out. Trucking gives
Right,
them a way up
Yeah.
for them and their kids, a new lifestyle, a way to make money and support their families. And I Have a Voice does all that.
right,
It just shows, the community that we have here and what you can do, and that your voice matters, who you are matters.
right. And if you have a problem, like I said in one of my posts when we first started, when you pick on one, you got us all.
Yeah, and
She's got a lot of
yeah,
women standing behind her. All she got to do is make one
Yeah.
phone call to
Yep.
Real Women in Trucking, and we one of the most.
Yeah.
I would say we have became one of the most powerful women's organizations in the industry because we are really being looked at now.
yeah.
There's another one out there, but I think they're kind of fizzling out,
Well,
and it's about
well,
time.
And
But
we are one on one. I mean, we talk
Yeah.
one on one with each
Yes.
person, and we handle their specific situation to them. We give them resources, whether it's a lawyer, whether it's information, and we work one on one with drivers, which sets us
Mhm.
apart from anybody else because you will not find any other organization willing to do that.
Right, you're right. And then we have our Miss Idella runs the foundation
oh
where
yeah,
the girls
yeah.
get stranded, driver, and it's not just women. We
Nope,
focus
it's
on
all.
women, but it's for all drivers. If a
Yep.
man, if you're out here and you're new and you're being coerced by these mega companies, or you're being stranded, or you being bullied by your company, you can call us just as easy as the women can. We
Yep.
are
Yep.
women's education, but I know I can say this for all of us. We're about the
Exactly.
individual
Exactly.
driver.
Yep. Yep. And wage
Yeah.
theft and labor trafficking is huge, just as much for a male as it is a female.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Well,
Coercion is huge.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think there's something that's going to come down the road that I think everyone's going to have to look at it. They're trying to come up with some new regulatory environment issues. Like one of them will be can fleets use cognitive testing to ensure drivers are road ready? Have you heard anything about that yet?
Um,
What?
so I
Yeah,
actually
you haven't
had a
heard this yet.
I
Cheryl's
actually
gonna
heard that
die.
there's a gentleman on LinkedIn that has established a behavioral assessment that he's trying to push with recruiting. That so potential drivers would take this behavior analysis to see if they are a good fit for trucking. I have heard that.
I
And
don't
yeah,
disagree with that.
well, they actually want to use your cell phones. They want to be able to dispatch a test to a driver over your phone if your dispatcher thinks that you're having issues. Because, they say, I don't know where they got this figure from or how they figured this out, but they're saying that a commercial driver typically makes nearly 18,000 decisions every day when he's out driving or whatever he has to do. I'm thinking, wow, 18,000 is a lot. And they also want to find out about when you're smoking pot and how that happens because so far there's over 200,000 drivers have been eliminated because of the pot issue because it's
Right.
legal in some states and it's illegal in other states. So this cognitive test, I mean, that to me,
Does that affect drivers federally, or is that a military
they
cognitive?
know
Because
they want to make it for all fleets. They want to make it for all fleets. And if you look at the National Association of Public Funding, they're part of that. Driver's legal plan is part of that. I mean, I don't know if these, Tammy, we all know almost all this stuff is always all connected somewhere back to somebody who wants to make more money.
yeah.
That's to me because I'm looking at this woman whose her name is Marilyn Serber. She's the vice president, of course, sales and marketing. So it all comes back to money. But it's one
Yep.
more thing on drivers. I mean, I get that there's drivers that cognitively can't be out there, but we're letting drivers who can't speak, read, or write English too out there. So
So
before
if they shouldn't be out there cognitively, we should be able to address that with their physical. That's not something that we need an
Well,
additional
I
person
think they
coming
can do
forward.
it by phone, and then you're going to get some stupid. No, I shouldn't say that. Some dispatcher who has in the color box, in the 100 crayon color box, he's sitting in the back row. Guy, he's
Yeah.
going to try to decipher if someone's cognitively can be driving or he's impaired to make decisions. I mean, this is like, okay, Big Brother. Once again, truck drivers have to watch out for Big Brother because we're always being watched out there. No matter what you do,
Right.
you're being
Yeah.
watched.
The
I mean, Cheryl,
squirrel.
you went pee 3 times today in your truck. I don't think you're cognitively ready to drive. I was going to say something else, but I thought the peeing worked
I do pee
because
a lot.
where my mind was going.
Uh-huh. We'll talk about sex later.
I don't.
I mean, really. I mean, is this one more thing? I mean, can you imagine? I mean, let's face it. Cognitively for women, we change. I mean, if you're under the age of 50, and you're gonna you're gonna have a bad day out there. Let's face it. The day you start your
Uh,
period, you can be a monster. You don't want to talk to anybody. Never mind.
I don't have
dispatching.
those anymore, so I don't have to worry about
Yeah,
it.
well,
So
Well,
none of us
but
can, Joe. But I'm just
we
saying,
also get sick too. Like
Yes.
I've
exactly,
got
you
a
get sick.
coworker
Yeah.
right now went to Matt's. Well, she was off 9 days. And then when she got back on the truck, she got sick. You know, everybody
Oh,
gets sick when they leave Matt's. I don't know what it is, but she's sick
I
with
didn't.
bronchitis. But she's still having to work
See,
because
but
she was
that's
just off
against
9 days.
but
yeah.
it's against regulations for her to work. It is against FMCSA regulations. It's literally in the book.
Yes, yeah. But it doesn't matter. You guys know that.
Companies don't care. Yeah.
No,
No,
companies don't care. And
So
I think
why
sometimes as women, we get a little more pushed around because let's face it, a lot of women that are coming out there, it's a new thing. They don't have like the support that we get from a lot of our friends and everybody else. They're out there, and then the new ones that they're afraid to rock the boat. You know
right?
that. You know, when you
yeah,
Yep.
first started, you didn't want to say nothing. When I was told that we're getting to our drops too early, I wasn't allowed to have a bed, and then I found out I was making oh my goodness, 20 cents less than any other female driver in that company. I mean, and you know, it didn't matter. I mean, I had John, and that was the thing. I mean, I was lucky. But how many other women is this company doing this to? So
All of them.
I did take it to court. I did sue them. But I mean, how many other people wouldn't have that
So you
ability? Think about
so
it.
you had a voice. See, and
I
that's
had a
exactly
voice.
what
I
I
do
have a
have a
voice
big mouth,
about.
Tammy.
See, and I guess for me, I don't see a lot of that point. You know, we've been owner operators ever since we started, and we don't run for a big company, you know, because we hauled livestock for so long, and now we do hopper, which is a more specialized. We do dairy farm hopper and stuff like that. So I don't see a lot of the complaints from the big companies when I talk to women. Because for me, I mean, I'm not used to dispatchers either. We have one dispatcher. He's a good friend of ours. You know, we don't have to where we're calling in to a company that's got 800 trucks. You know, we're calling into a company that has 5 trucks.
You're
You
lucky.
know, so
You're
for
lucky,
right.
us,
but
it's more simple, and I don't
Yeah.
see the confusion like some of you ladies do
you
that
can
has a comp for 800 trucks or something.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can see a woman going into a small company that has anywhere from 3 to 6 trucks, and if she's the only woman, I don't. She's probably not going to make the same amount of money, and she's
Oh
probably doesn't know
bullshit!
she's not
I
making
make
enough.
more than I make more than a man.
No,
I
well, but you have how many years behind you? I'm just talking about a
Yeah.
woman. She's
Oh
23
yeah.
years old.
Wait, the
She
new
takes
women.
I'm
Yeah.
taking a young
Yeah.
girl, 23, 24, first time out. She gets sucked into this company with there's like 5 or 6 other drivers. She's the only female.
She has to
Get
prove
all that.
herself. Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't know how
Yeah.
much they're
Yeah.
making. We don't, she doesn't know the ins and outs like a lot of us do. It took a long
Hmm.
time. I mean,
Right.
I'm lucky because John was a driver. I was lucky that you know I had someone telling me off all the time.
Yeah, it
I
took me a
actually
long
my best
time to
friend
get
was
where I'm at to make the kind of money I
Yeah,
make.
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
My best friends were truck drivers, my best friend and husbands. And so when I came into this industry, I already had that attitude way
Mhm.
before, so
see,
I already had the don't try me because, it doesn't work.
I did too. My grandfather used to own Mayflower Moving and Packing business. We had the one in Lincoln, Nebraska. We had the one in Omaha. My grandmother actually started her own first all female women packing business. So my mom and all of her friends would go in and pack the house. My dad and his buddies would come load it up and take it. So I had that truck driver mentality, don't fuck with me, before I
Yep.
even married my husband and got in this field. So like even at the company now, if they call us and say, hey, we've got a load for you, they dispatch us a load and I look at what it's paying, I'll call and say, this is bullshit. I ain't hauling it for this. And they'll be like, okay, we'll see what we can get. And it's like, no, there's no see what we'll get. We're gonna get better, or it's not getting on our trailer.
You see, we
But
were
I can
lucky.
see how, like Tracy said, a lot of these new females don't have their voice to be able to do that with a
Yep.
company like some of us old bitches do. No offense,
Right.
but we can tell people off.
And these dispatchers and these fleet managers, they put them in situations they shouldn't be in, very unsafe
No,
situations, and they
exactly.
Right.
don't know that they have the power to say no.
And
Uh,
here's another point though. I have never noticed that until we were started hauling we were going into a mill, and there was a very nice young girl, and she was driving on. She had a dry van, and she was dropping off bags of seed. And we saw her try and back in. It was a very tight back in place you had to back into to unload this. And she tried 4 or 5 times. And finally, my husband got out, walked up to her and said, "Can I help you?" And she said, "I've never backed up like this before. I told them I wasn't ready to do something like this, and they sent me anyway." So
That's very common.
yeah, yes. And he said, I got you. And, he helped her maneuver back into the place that she needed to be. But she was very grateful. But she said, "I told them I wasn't ready." But they send them anyway, and they're not ready.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, that's very common.
Girl, let me tell you, I can tell you a story about. I went to school for Snyder in North Carolina, and
my
very first load was to the Baton Rouge docks, and it was on a what do you call them things it's on the water where the dock moves.
Barge.
Oh.
The barge, yes. The docks moved. And there was I had to jackknife. I had to put the trailer in correct with the truck jackknifed. Now, nobody taught me that. Nobody taught me how to do that. My very first load, I had to figure out how to put that trailer in straight with the truck jackknife on a barge that was rocking.
Wow.
Yeah, no thanks.
But see, you're not taught how to do that. Here's the thing I have with these puppy mills. I'm sorry, a truck driving school to me is a puppy mill. That's all they are.
I call them CDL mills, but
yep, I call them a puppy mill.
Overpriced and under quality.
Yes, they don't teach you how to back. They don't teach you how to drive except when it's daylight, sun's out, no wind. They don't teach you how to drive in Oklahoma. Don't teach you how to drive in Colorado mountains. They don't teach you how to drive in the wind.
Honey, and they don't teach you how to drive in Boston.
Yeah, 3 to 4 weeks, and they just throw you out there.
Not even that sometimes. I actually read an article where somebody said in Missouri they saw a billboard that said you can get your CDL in 24 hours. Now I cannot confirm that, but that is a post I saw yesterday.
Oh, that's probably for the the drivers that don't speak English.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think it's only the non-speaking that can get their license that quick.
Yeah, they're not going to give it to us because we're going to question it, right?
They're not preparing them for this industry that is a cutthroat industry anymore. And they're not preparing them. They, just like you had said, hon, they send them to unsafe places. You're sending a young girl who's never driven before, just got out of CDL school, and you're going to send her to downtown Chicago. What the fuck is wrong with you?
And normally her trainer is in the bunk. Yeah.
Hell, Memphis is worse than Chicago. I will tell any female, do not sleep in Memphis. No. Not at a truck stop. There's a couple of places like on 263 or 260 down, not 240, but the other one. The industrial places are kind of safe, but do not sleep nowhere in Memphis. You will be hijacked. You will be robbed. Your freight will be gone, or they're going to hurt you.
Here's what I tell the new drivers. When I see a new driver out there and she'll be on the CB, where do I park at it? I honestly will tell them, find a sale barn. Park at a sale barn. Park at a mill. They don't care if you park. There's sale barns all over the United States. Park at a sale barn. Don't park at a truck stop if you don't feel safe.
I don't know what that is.
She's talking about livestock sale barn.
Yeah, park
at a okay. I got it now. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I mean, I've told them I've had women on the CB will be at a rest area and they'll be like, "Can somebody walk me in? I don't feel safe." And my husband's like, "Okay, I'll walk you in." And he'll get out of his truck and walk her into the restroom so she can use the restroom and walk her back out. You just have to help the other women out there because no one else is going to help us.
No. But
a lot of these drivers would rather sit there and show me your titties on the CB. I get so tired of hearing that shit. But they'd rather do that than actually help somebody anymore.
You know why? Because there's drivers out there that do. So then they expect it from everybody else.
Yes.
Well, back in the day, that was the big Ruha from the four wheelers. The girls would raise up.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it was just the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's kind of a historic thing. So, you know, um, that probably won't never go away. You know
No.
what I mean? But
Well, I don't
we
know
ain't got to
now.
worry
'Cause
about
now
that
you
no
know.
more because we got all these new female drivers showing their titties anyway.
I
If
don't
they
know
ain't,
about
they
you.
almost.
I don't know about you, but I've seen my fair share of male driving
Yep.
down the road.
Oh,
So
I have
Yeah.
too.
women
Even in
aren't
a
the only
car.
ones showing their stuff.
Yeah.
So
And there was only one that I approved of. And it was so funny. Let me tell y'all this story. I was sitting in Laredo, Texas, down there, and I was backed in. And this little, he must have been a Latin or something. But I guess he just woke up and must have realized his curtains wasn't closed. Well, he woke up and I looked over and baby, I blowed my air horn at that one. I said, huh, you like, yeah, yeah. That was the only one. But the one out of 100. But he had approval. But
I have
yeah,
a photo.
I'll have guys come up beside me and ride with me and they're doing their thing and I just laugh at them until
I had a
every
Oh
guy
once in a
no.
follow
while
me.
I get one and go, catch me on the right day, you might get lucky.
My God. My God.
Oh
That
shit.
is funny. That's well, now it's going to be kind of hard. What's going on out there with the bathroom situations?
Same old, same old. I've
Same.
eliminated my
Are men
problem.
still going? Are men allowed? I mean, are they allowed to go in the women's room now, or is that stopped? Or
No, I mean, in situations where they look like a woman, I imagine, there's a lot of unisex bathrooms popping up.
Hmm.
Yeah.
that's good. That's really good that they have that. That's good then.
It is scary. And I told this story here a few months ago. I was at a rest area. There was a bus of young ladies coming back from, I don't remember if it was what sport it was. They were in the bathroom. I was washing my hands, walking out. Someone walked in. And I kind of just hung out and stayed in the bathroom, for the
Oh
time
yeah.
until the girls came out. Because there are some really great people out there. That it's hard for them when there's not a unisex bathroom. But there
Yeah.
are also people out there that take advantage of that and are predators, and it's really hard to figure out which one is
Mhm.
which.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true
And of course, the predators make it bad, make
for
society
everybody.
look at everybody as the same,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
it's
And
damned
that's
if you
what
do,
I think.
damned if
That's
you
what's
don't.
hard right now. Yeah. I think that's
I
hard. I didn't know how it was out there. I mean, we don't have where we live. We don't have too many situations like that.
Out west, when I went to California, most of their bathrooms are now unisex. Here in Illinois, where I'm at, they're male, female, and then a third family, or
Well, they should have a
and I
third
like that.
bathroom.
Yeah,
I
I
like to.
like
I
that.
don't. I'm not crazy about a unisex bathroom. I
No,
mean,
I'm not.
we had to deal with one time, and it just I don't know. I don't know. I was a true feminist in the 70s and 80s. I worked with on the now National Organization of Women, where we were just fighting just to get equal pay and things like that at that time
Mhm.
with Gloria Steinem, and just to have some of our own spaces because in the workforce we were not getting them in the workforce we were not getting that type of recognition or actually respect. Some of it's just respect. I mean, I don't want to have to share a certain things with men. I don't know
Most
these
of
Right.
the
men.
most of the places, where we do Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Wyoming, Utah, it's the same as, before. You have a woman's bathroom, you have a man's bathroom, and then you have a family bathroom. I have not yet to see a unisex bathroom over here in the Midwest.
Nope. But you go to
But
California,
I
that's
would
where they are.
Mm.
I would think that would be hard for women drivers having to use a unisex bathroom.
It
I
is.
mean, you get to
Well,
use so many times you don't get to even use the bathroom just to go in there to have some privacy.
Mhm.
Right.
Well, it
You know,
depends
you
on
just
how clean they keep them too, because you go to some areas and they don't know what cleaner is.
yes, no
Oh, and
kidding.
lately, it ain't the toilets. It's the damn showers in the places that we got to go take a shower. The employees they got at these truck stops today don't give a rat's ass about sanitation. Don't know how to clean them. They're using the towels that we dried off with to clean the showers, dry them off, dry the floor, and put somebody else in there.
Well,
Now,
you
I
know,
No,
get
Cheryl, you
that.
can't expect these people that only make 15 to $20 an hour to do a good job.
whine, whine, whine.
I
I can
know.
expect. Yeah, I can.
I heard somebody tell me the other day. Now, when we go shower, we always tell them it's a team shower. Me and my husband, we always shower in the same shower. You know, I've been with him for 29 years. It doesn't matter to us.
Oh, I
But
heard
now
they putting a stop to that though.
that's
I
what
heard
I
that
was
too.
going to say. Somebody told me they were putting a stop to that. And you had to have your own shower now. And it's like, why? I mean, I guess
Because people
I
are
don't.
having sex in the shower and taking too
Yeah,
long.
Yeah, so I
mine's lucky to get it at home, let alone at the shower at a nasty old rest stop.
Right?
How does Cheryl know
Like,
this?
shit.
I mean,
Tammy,
honestly,
how does Cheryl know that?
if they
I
are
ain't telling.
willing to do it, and if they are willing to do it in that, who are we to judge? I mean, if they're okay doing
That's
it
just
in there, I mean, come on, who are
But yeah,
they
wait
that's
it.
what I heard too, Cheryl. I heard they were putting a stop to being able to use a team shower.
Yeah, I mean they'll give you team showers, but you got to do it in separate showers. I mean you got to
That don't
take
make
different.
no sense.
They don't let you use the same shower anymore.
who's gonna watch
See,
my back?
yeah, no shit.
It's your damn thing.
It's your damn thing. Your
Now
scrubber.
Yeah,
I
that
have
damn
not
back
run into that
thing.
yet. I haven't run into that yet with me and my husband yet, to where when we go up to get a shower, they've told us no, we can't shower together. They've always been like, okay, do you need an extra towel? So I guess but we don't go to a lot of the bigger
Well,
truck stops.
I don't know.
We
Right.
cater more towards smaller.
Sometimes I look forward to having that shower by myself.
So here's the
Uh,
question. This is the question that we're not asking. What happened that prompted them to say that? Because just like spilling McDonald's coffee on you, right? There's
Yes.
always a situation that causes the reaction. So
Yes.
what happened? I'd love to hear that story. What happened to prompt this? Because something
Exactly.
had to have happened.
Well, don't you think it's
well,
money based?
I told you what happened, and I'm not being discriminating, and I'm not being disrespectful, but they really didn't stop doing the separating the bathrooms until the gay community got real vocal.
Oh.
And they
What do you mean?
and there's
Everything
been some videos, and yeah, I've seen some videos in them in the truck stop bathroom getting it
Oh,
on.
okay.
Okay. Okay. Now
Okay.
I got
So
you.
We
Now
got
I
it.
understand. Okay.
So
Well,
what
you asked.
prompted
Y'all
No,
know
I
I'm
wanted
going
to
to tell you.
I wanted to know.
Oh my God.
what prompted the little signs on top of the toilets that said you need to sit down to poop too? I want to know what that is too.
Oh.
I don't know about that now. That's a
Are
new
we
one on me.
trying
Yeah.
to aim now? Or maybe
What do you
because
mean
you're on
aim?
the
Well,
I don't
and the
know.
way
I don't
I
go
look
that
at
way
it,
a little.
I've
if
been
the
to a
girls are going to
Love's.
stand up and piss, clean the goddamn toilet seat or lift the
Exactly.
motherfucker like the men do.
That irritates me. If you're going to squat, wipe your mess up because they don't.
Yeah, or lift the lid. Lift
Maybe,
the lid.
yeah, that too. Maybe like so. I have been to Love's in Mississippi actually, and I walked in to shower, and there was poop on the shower floor. And I walked out and made them go back in, clean it, and give me a different shower. But maybe
That's
that's
so
why
gross.
they're saying to sit to poop because so many people are doing it where they shouldn't be.
Right,
That is,
right.
I
That's
can't
nasty
even
people.
with
That's
that
just
one.
nasty
And I've
people.
heard that. I've heard that many times that it happens in the
Well,
shower.
when I was using public restrooms, because I don't use them no more. I don't use porta potty. I got a bathroom on my truck. It's got a 5-gallon bucket and top of the line garbage bags. I'm happy. But
I
before,
see.
I would have a little Ziploc with Clorox wipes and
Yes.
some
Yeah.
latex gloves. And when I went in, I would put on the gloves and I would clean the top of the seats and all that with
Yeah.
the bleach before I went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, during COVID, we were lucky if they had a bathroom open. So I mean,
Yes.
we all took
Well,
clean
and
showers
that's when
anyway
I
because of
really
COVID.
started getting creative with the 5 gallon bucket and
Yeah.
researching good garbage bags and things like that. So,
Cracks me.
yeah,
You
yeah.
just crack me up.
Hey, it's
I know.
reality
I know.
though.
I'm sorry, Cheryl. You just the way just the way you say it cracks me.
Okay, so I have a
I love
question.
you, darling.
How long have you ladies been driving?
I don't drive anymore. I teach.
Okay, and how long did you drive? When did
I
you
was
start
with John
driving?
for what, 4 years we were out together? Till I got pregnant. That's what happens in
Nice.
those trucks.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I wouldn't know about
I
that.
have been on and off for 29 years. The last 2 years, 2 years ago, I had breast cancer. So I took a break and I let my CDL lapse and I haven't gotten it back yet. And I don't think I'm going to get it back. I enjoy riding with him now.
It's nice, isn't it?
I did for 27 years on and off. I drove that truck and people give me shit. And it's like, listen, I kind of enjoy being a passenger princess for a little bit.
Yep. Yep.
So I haven't quite decided whether I'm going to go back and do that route again. I've just been kind of enjoying my sitting in the passenger seat scrolling through TikTok.
Right, I would too. So you've seen where they have asked us to comment on any regulations that we would like to change or get rid of. Have you seen that?
I
Yeah,
did see
and we've
that.
been
Yes.
doing
Yeah,
that
I've
for
seen
years.
some
We've been
things,
doing it
yeah.
since 2017, and I don't
Yeah.
care how many times they ask us, they don't do a freaking thing about it.
Well, this is
John's been
part
doing it
of
longer than that, and
well,
it's
this is
like
part of
it's
Trump's
ridiculous.
thing, right? This is Trump's thing. He's been going to each
Yeah,
agency and just knocking things out. And so now he's coming to us. So I made a video on TikTok because TikTok I have almost 19,000 followers. So I went in, I made a video and I said, "Hey drivers, what would you change?" And most of them they hate the ELD and the hours of service. But so here's my question. If you've been in this before 2004, do you remember the 15-hour rule?
Yes.
yes, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, do you know that hundreds of drivers told me there was no such thing as a 15-hour rule? They
Bullshit.
forgot.
You
Yeah,
got 15
I
hours.
literally they literally argued with me on TikTok and told me that there was no such thing and I needed to go research it. And I'm like, the freaking law's been there for 60 years.
Yeah, we didn't
How
have
did
no
you forget it?
14-hour rule, and if they just got rid of the 14-hour clock and just let us do our
Yes.
drive our 11 hours, do what we had to do. If we wanted to take 5 here and 5 there, as long as we didn't drive no more than 11,
Mhm.
this whole
Exactly.
industry would be a hell of a lot safer, and we would have a whole lot less
Yeah.
wrecks. Just
Agreed.
get rid of the fucking clock.
Yep.
I've always felt like so when we did livestock, we never did e-logs. We never have to do any of that. It was all paper logs. Even now with hauling a hopper, we have the 150-mile radius before we deliver, the
Yeah,
150-mile radius after.
I
So
do too.
we run an extra 3 hours a day. But I've always felt you're having somebody sit behind the desk telling you when you're tired, telling you when you should eat, telling you when you should take
Yeah.
a break. And I guess I've never understood that because being in that truck for 29 years, my husband has been a truck driver for 38 years, straight out of the military. He became a truck driver and he knows when he's tired. He knows when he needs to get out and stretch his legs. He doesn't need somebody telling you, listen, it's time to take a nap now. Because
Don't you
it's
think it'd
just,
be nice to have the bureaucrats that make up these laws actually run out in a truck for a whole week to see how this really
exactly.
works for them?
Well, these laws were actually enacted because of the abuse. It's not the people who
Okay.
knew that. It was all the other ones that were having these drivers work 18 to 20 hours a day. And
Yeah.
I mean, they were abusing
Yeah.
it,
Exactly.
which they still do. They still, I mean, I don't know if you've
Exactly.
seen it where they have like
I don't
multiple
have a
names,
problem
multiple
because the more I
ELDs.
work, the more money I bring home. So I'm out
But
here. I'm out here away from home. I'm doing
That's yeah.
nothing but working. So
That's what I say.
what does it matter if I'm safe and I took a 3-hour nap back here so I could run through the night with less traffic? If I work 18 hours, as long as I'm safe, that's all that matters. Because
Exactly.
I'm a truck driver. I'm not a secretary with a 9 to 5 job.
But you're an old school, and I don't know if people even like that anymore, an old school truck driver to where you actually know your limits. A lot of these new truck drivers coming in don't know their limits.
They don't know
Yeah,
what
they
they're
Because
don't.
doing.
they're not
They
taught.
don't.
They're
Exactly.
cushioned.
They're
They're
not taught.
conditioned.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's just
They
like
don't.
that driver
What I
in
do?
Salem, Oregon, that killed like 7 people. I mean,
Yep.
he had been driving 18 years,
Yeah.
and he didn't stop when he should have stopped. And that's
Well,
the
and
problem.
there are it doesn't matter who it is. It don't matter how long you got. Some are stupid,
Yep.
and unfortunately they
But
make it bad for the rest of us.
that's
Exactly.
every
I'm one of
profession.
those ones.
Yeah.
I do what I do. I stop. I'll take a 2-hour nap here. I might run for another 5 or 6 hours. Hell,
Yeah.
sometime I might sleep 4 hours and get up and drive an hour and then go back to bed because I'm not ready yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So here's my thought.
You
I
know, I'm
think
safe. I
right.
will not drive that truck sleepy. If I can't, that load ain't worth it.
Yep. I think they should give us a
You
maximum
know, but
amount
there
of
are some out there, and that guy that killed all that guy, he was probably doing our famous high speed chicken feed.
probably. So I think that they, and this is just my opinion, but I think they should give us a maximum daily, okay, for driving. That's it.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
then our weekly. And once we hit that weekly, we have to take a reset. But we should be able to hit that weekly when we hit it. So some drivers don't want to drive more than 8 or 9 hours. Some of us will drive 12 to 14. Let us. If we
You know,
know our limits, let us give us a
exactly.
maximum limit.
Mhm.
When we hit that, we have to take a day off.
Yeah.
And then let us do our thing.
Yeah.
Right. Some days I could push out 1,200 miles, and the next day I'll be lucky if I can do 400. It just
Well,
depends.
after
If
You know what I'm
1,200, I
saying?
can't do 400 because I'm normally sleeping a good day.
Listen, ladies, we're just about out of time. Tammy, thank you
Okay.
for joining us for Real Women in Trucking.
You're
And
welcome.
put it out on TIBN what you need from drivers, and I'll stick it out into my other women's groups and see
I
if we
want
can get some
I
stuff.
want one more thing before we go. Tammy,
What now?
tell
Yes.
us where to find you on TikTok and tell us a
Yeah,
little bit about Tammy.
Tammy,
that's right.
Tammy quit her cushy Walmart job here recently, and I'm actually looking at becoming an instructor at a community college.
Nice.
They've never done that. Got a T-shirt.
Yeah, I haven't done it, but I want to see effective.
Good
So,
luck. Call me. I'll give you some pointers.
oh, my things just died. Yeah, but I'm busy with Real Women Trucking. I'm on the transportation board. I cause a lot of ruckus on TikTok, obviously.
I
Okay.
will have to follow you on TikTok.
Yeah,
I don't,
send it to
Yeah.
us, please. Send us to
Yeah,
it.
it is
That would be
under.
great.
Now, when
yeah,
you
send
look,
me your link.
there's a lot of people who copy me, so you have to be careful. But it is. I'm gonna pull it up here for you. It's Tammy Sue 2. Oops.
Tammy Sue.
Yeah,
can't
make
even
sure
see
it
that.
has that number of followers though, or
Tammy,
is
I
it
can't see that.
Yeah.
blurry?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's
it's
just too
Tammy
little.
Sue 2. I'll
Tammy
put it
Sue
in
too.
chat here.
Yeah, put it in the chat.
Yeah, put it in the chat, and I'll give you a follow after we get off here.
Yeah, just make sure
I'm
someone
not, I'm
with
really
the.
not on TikTok a lot because I'm still teaching and I don't want my kids to see what I'm up to.
I'm on
Yeah.
TikTok a lot, and I'm very,
Okay.
very vocal on my opinions in the trucking community on TikTok. I kind of
Yeah,
voice my
Squirrel, you need
opinions
to
a
put
lot.
yours. Squirrel, you need to put yours down there in the comments too, because I can't find you either.
Yeah, I'm spoiled squirrel. That's it. Spoiled
Well,
squirrel.
I've been very good the last few years because being a Walmart driver, I've had to
Yeah.
bring it down.
Well,
But I don't have to do
I
that
teach at
anymore.
school, and everybody I work with, a lot of people I work with, are so far to the left that if I put something, yeah,
Yeah.
you guys get it. Okay.
Well,
Yeah, but
ladies, I
anytime you say
love
something about
y'all.
being
I
a
got to
woman, it
jump off
generally
of here.
Bye,
It was
honey.
great
I'll
being on
talk to
your
you during the
show,
week.
ladies.
Safe driving, Michelle.
Nice to see you, Tammy.
You too.
Bye,
Bye,
baby
Squirrel.
doll. But that's it for us, guys. Have a great evening. Thanks for joining us.